Have you heard about the strange fog that swept across the United States last week? What may have seemed like an ordinary weather event has sparked a fascinating and unsettling debate among those who witnessed it. It wasn't just any fog. This was something different, something that felt like a warning. Across many parts of the country, people reported an eerie mist that not only blocked visibility but also had a peculiar, unsettling texture. It wasn't a typical fog. It felt almost like a drizzle, but lighter, almost granular. People described it as if the air itself was heavy with a strange energy. Some reported that the fog left behind a chemical smell that lingered in their homes, refusing to dissipate. No matter how many windows were opened or fans were turned on, the fog was unusual, persistent, and in some cases, even dangerous to people's health. Many locals complained of throat irritation, sore throats, and a burning sensation in their lungs after exposure. Some even reported an odd, metallic taste lingering in the air, making the experience even more bizarre. This wasn't just a typical weather event. It felt like a presence, something far more unsettling than fog. While many brushed it off as an anomaly, others couldn't help but draw parallels to ancient prophecies, specifically those written by Nostradamus. Yes, Nostradamus, the famous 16th century seer often cited in discussions about world-changing events. His quatrains, filled with cryptic verses, have been interpreted to refer to everything from political upheavals to natural disasters. Some believe this strange fog might be a direct manifestation of one of his prophecies. But is it? Could this fog be more than just weather? Is there a deeper meaning behind this event, one that has been hidden for centuries? Nostradamus often wrote about times when the world would be on the brink of great transformation. Some of his predictions hint at events that could cause widespread confusion and fear. Just like this fog, could it be an early warning of something far more profound? Could it be linked to a greater spiritual or societal shift? These questions are at the forefront of discussions, and the answers might be closer than we think. If you found this topic intriguing, don't forget to like and subscribe to stay updated as we delve deeper into this strange phenomenon and its potential connections to ancient prophecies. Now, let's dive into what Nostradamus predicted for 2025 and how it might tie into what we're witnessing today. As the strange fog continued to roll across parts of the United States, its effects on the environment and people's health became impossible to ignore. What was initially considered a mere weather event soon turned into a widespread concern, particularly among those who were exposed to it for extended periods. The fog's physical and psychological impact on individuals was far from trivial, leading to a series of alarming reports from local health departments and the general public alike. Many people reported immediate health symptoms after coming into contact with the fog. The most common complaints included throat irritation, coughing, and shortness of breath. For some, the effects were even more severe, with individuals describing a burning sensation in their eyes and lungs. Hospitals in several affected regions saw a rise in cases of respiratory distress, particularly among vulnerable groups such as children, the elderly, and those with pre-existing respiratory conditions like asthma or COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. Interestingly, some people also reported unusual mental and emotional effects after being exposed to the fog. Feelings of dizziness, confusion, and even anxiety seemed to rise in correlation with the dense mist. Could these effects be linked to the chemical makeup of the fog? Some researchers have speculated that the fog contained unusual compounds, possibly pollutants or toxins that were somehow concentrated in the air. Others believe that these chemicals could be a result of industrial activity, climate change, or even a combination of the two. In response to these concerns, several environmental agencies have conducted air quality tests in the affected areas, though their findings have not yet provided a clear explanation for the fog's composition. What is known is that certain areas experienced significantly higher levels of particulate matter than usual, leading to fears that the fog could be a health hazard in the long term. While short-term exposure appeared to have relatively mild effects in most cases, the long-term consequences of prolonged exposure to the particles in the fog remain uncertain. Theories about the fog's origin vary widely, with some suggesting that it could be a natural phenomenon, while others point to more unsettling possibilities. One of the most widely discussed theories is that the fog could be a product of climate change. Rising temperatures, shifting weather patterns, and increased industrial pollution may be creating conditions for more extreme weather events, including dense fogs like the one that recently blanketed parts of the country. The fog could be a combination of pollutants released into the atmosphere due to human activity, such as fossil fuel combustion, industrial emissions, or even wildfires, which have become more common in recent years. The idea that climate change could be behind such phenomena is certainly not new, but this particular fog has raised more questions than answers. Another theory that has gained traction among certain circles is that the fog might have been artificially created or manipulated. Some conspiracy theorists have suggested that the phenomenon could be the result of weather modification programs, such as cloud seeding, which has been used to alter weather patterns in some parts of the world. These programs, although controversial, are often cited as potential tools for governments or organizations seeking to manipulate weather for various purposes, from agricultural benefits to military advantage. While there is no direct evidence linking the fog to weather manipulation, the idea that human intervention could be at play is one that continues to capture the imagination of many. Another equally unsettling theory is that the fog could be linked to something more sinister, a biological agent. Some speculate that the fog might contain microscopic pathogens or other biohazards that could be inadvertently released into the atmosphere. While there is no evidence to support this theory, the fact that so many people reported similar health symptoms after exposure to the fog has fueled speculation about the potential risks. Given the current global health concerns, it's not surprising that many people are wary of any unusual environmental phenomenon, especially one that seems to have such an immediate effect on people's well-being. In addition to these theories, some have looked to the realm of the paranormal to explain the fog's origins. There are those who believe that the fog is not a product of nature or human activity, but rather a supernatural manifestation. The idea that the fog could be an omen or warning of something far beyond our understanding has resonated with certain groups, particularly those who follow esoteric traditions or subscribe to various prophecies, such as those of Nostradamus. Could the fog be a symbolic sign of impending global change? Some theorists have pointed to ancient texts, religious writings, and prophecies to suggest that such strange phenomena often precede significant shifts in human history. Whatever the truth may be, it's clear that this mysterious fog has left an indelible mark on those who experienced it. Theories abound, and health experts continue to investigate the potential long-term effects of exposure. As we delve deeper into the causes and implications of this strange phenomenon, it becomes evident that it may be a symbol of a larger, more complex issue, a warning of what might lie ahead. The fog may not just be a strange weather event, but a metaphor for the shifting global landscape, one that is increasingly difficult to navigate. The health effects it caused are a reminder of the interconnectedness of our environment, our bodies, and the ever-present need to understand the forces shaping our world. If you're as curious as I am about the connections between this strange fog and the theories surrounding it, don't forget to like and subscribe to stay tuned for more insights. Let's continue to explore the impact of this phenomenon and how it might be linked to larger patterns we're witnessing globally. In order to fully comprehend the significance of the strange fog phenomenon that has recently swept across parts of the United States, it is important to analyze it in the context of historical events and technological shifts. Over the centuries, there have been numerous instances where unexplained environmental phenomena have sparked widespread concern, panic, or wonder. However, the way society responds to such occurrences has drastically changed with the advent of modern technology and the rise of global interconnectivity. The interplay between historical events, technological advancements, and environmental shifts provides a unique lens through which we can analyze the fog phenomenon. Looking back at major historical events that were marked by strange weather or environmental occurrences, we see that such phenomena have often been used as symbols, warnings, or signs that were later interpreted in different ways. Today, however, our understanding of the natural world is more scientifically advanced, yet the sheer unpredictability of some events continues to leave us with more questions than answers. Historical parallels and symbolism. Throughout history, Unexplained environmental phenomena, such as strange fogs, meteors, or unusual weather patterns, have often been interpreted as omens or divine signs. In medieval Europe, for example, mysterious fogs were frequently seen as harbingers of plagues or pestilence, while others viewed them as portents of impending war or societal upheaval. The strange fog phenomenon we are witnessing today may have similarities to these past events, albeit with more modern interpretations and scientific inquiries. In ancient Rome, for instance, historical records mention dense fogs and other weather-related anomalies that were seen as messages from the gods. In some cases, fog was linked to periods of great transition in the empire, such as the end of an era or the rise of new powers. Similarly, in the 17th century, the infamous Great London Fog was often associated with the onset of industrialization and the public health crises it caused. The fog became a symbol of the rapid urbanization and environmental degradation that were taking place during that time. In modern times, we have moved away from viewing such occurrences as divine messages, but the need to interpret these events has not disappeared. In fact, as the fog phenomenon continues to spread, some people still seek to draw connections between the mist and the state of the world, such as the ongoing climate crisis, geopolitical tensions, and the increasing sense of unease that many feel about the future. Today's fog, unlike the ominous fogs of the past, is met with scientific curiosity rather than religious reverence. But its occurrence at a time of global uncertainty still brings about a sense of unease and calls for deeper analysis. The role of technological shifts in understanding environmental phenomena. One of the most striking aspects of the current fog phenomenon is the rapid pace at which technology has advanced, enabling us to analyze and respond to environmental events in ways that were previously unimaginable. In the past, when fogs and other weather-related phenomena occurred, society often relied on rudimentary tools to understand them, such as personal accounts, word of mouth, and simple observations. Today, we have access to satellite imagery, air quality sensors, and sophisticated weather models that can track, measure, and predict such phenomena with high precision. Technological advances have also allowed us to trace the source of environmental disruptions with greater accuracy. For example, in the case of the strange fog, researchers were able to identify high levels of particulate matter and pollutants in certain areas, confirming that the fog was not merely a result of natural weather patterns, but possibly influenced by human activity. These technological tools have allowed for more detailed analyses of the chemical makeup of the fog, revealing traces of toxins and pollutants that could potentially have harmful effects on human health. This ability to scrutinize and measure environmental phenomena is a far cry from the limited understanding available in previous centuries. However, with the rise of technology comes the dilemma of over-reliance on data and a possible detachment from the underlying human experience. In earlier times, communities responded to strange weather with a sense of collective purpose, coming together to interpret and deal with what was perceived as an unusual event. Today, while we have the ability to gather and analyze data in real time, there's a growing concern that technological advancements have distanced us from the profound human connection to nature. The fog phenomenon serves as a reminder that, despite all our technological progress, there are still aspects of the natural world that defy simple explanation and challenge our understanding of the world around us. Technological innovation and environmental impact. The strange fog that blanketed certain areas of the United States in recent months could be interpreted as a direct consequence of modern technological practices, particularly those related to industrialization and urbanization. Over the past few decades, technological advancements have led to increased emissions of carbon dioxide, particulate matter, and other pollutants, which have contributed to the degradation of the environment and the acceleration of climate change. It's not far-fetched to suggest that the fog phenomenon might be a result of a confluence of human activity and shifting environmental conditions. One potential factor influencing the appearance of this fog is the rise of urbanization and industrial activities in specific regions. Cities and industrial zones are known to produce a significant amount of air pollution, which, under the right conditions, can interact with weather patterns to create thick, persistent fogs. This is similar to what occurred during the Great Smog of London in 1952, when a combination of industrial pollution and cold weather resulted in a dense fog that lasted for several days, causing thousands of deaths. In today's context, the increasing reliance on fossil fuels, deforestation, and industrial processes may have contributed to the conditions that led to the formation of this strange fog. Climate change also plays a crucial role in these environmental shifts. Rising global temperatures, shifting wind patterns, and altered precipitation levels are just some of the factors that can influence the development of extreme weather events like fog. As the planet warms, scientists predict that we will see an increase in extreme weather events, including more frequent and intense fogs. The strange fog phenomenon, therefore, might be one of many indicators that our climate is undergoing significant changes that could have far-reaching consequences for both the environment and human health. In addition to these environmental concerns, the rapid advancement of technology has given rise to new and potentially risky methods of weather manipulation and geoengineering. Technologies such as cloud seeding, which involves introducing substances into clouds to alter weather patterns, have been used in some parts of the world to address issues like drought or to improve air quality. However, the unintended consequences of such interventions remain largely unknown, and some conspiracy theories suggest that the fog could be the result of a failed geoengineering experiment or an unintended side effect of weather modification efforts. The intersection of human innovation and environmental consequences. The strange fog phenomenon also underscores the complex relationship between human innovation and the unintended consequences that often accompany it. Over the years, technological advancements have brought immense benefits to society, from the development of the internet and smartphones to breakthroughs in medicine and transportation. Yet, these innovations have also created a range of environmental challenges. As we continue to develop new technologies, we must remain mindful of the broader ecological impact and consider the long-term consequences of our actions. The fog event serves as a stark reminder that technological progress is not always linear or predictable. While we may be able to solve one problem with innovation, we might inadvertently create another. This concept is particularly relevant in the context of environmental issues, where human activity has consistently altered ecosystems and created unintended ripple effects that are often difficult to reverse. As we move forward into an era of increasing technological reliance, it is crucial that we carefully consider the environmental costs of innovation and take proactive steps to mitigate these risks. As we stand at the threshold of the future, many are seeking answers not only from scientific analysis and technological innovation, but also from ancient wisdom and prophetic messages. Among the most famous sources of predictions is Nostradamus, whose cryptic verses have been analyzed and interpreted for centuries. Although his prophecies are often shrouded in ambiguity, many believe that his writings contain hidden insights about the spiritual transformation that humanity may undergo in the coming years, particularly in the context of current global challenges and the strange phenomena that are unfolding. Nostradamus, born in 1503 in France, was a seer and astrologer whose work has captivated the imaginations of people for generations. His most famous work, Les Prophéties, consists of a series of quatrains, four-line poems, that many interpret as foretelling events of the future. Though the prophecies themselves are vague and open to interpretation, some of Nostradamus' followers claim that his writings accurately predicted significant events in history, including wars, natural disasters, and even the rise and fall of political figures. One of the key themes in Nostradamus' work is the idea of spiritual transformation, which is deeply intertwined with his predictions of societal upheaval and global crises. Many scholars believe that his prophecies reflect a broader spiritual awakening, a shift in human consciousness that is set to unfold as the world faces dramatic challenges. Some have interpreted his cryptic verses to suggest that humanity is entering a new age, one that will require a radical transformation in how we view ourselves, our relationship with nature, and our place in the cosmos. A new age of spiritual awakening. The concept of spiritual transformation is not new. Throughout history, there have been numerous movements, philosophies, and religious teachings that have called for a shift in human consciousness. From the rise of Eastern spiritual practices in the West to the New Age movements of the 20th century, there has always been a desire to transcend materialism and find deeper meaning in life. However, Nostradamus' predictions of a spiritual shift suggest that this transformation is not merely an individual journey but a collective one that will affect entire civilizations and potentially alter the course of history. One of the most intriguing aspects of Nostradamus' predictions is his suggestion that humanity will go through a period of great tribulation, a time of struggle and chaos that will ultimately lead to a spiritual renaissance. This vision of the future seems to echo themes found in many religious and mystical traditions, where suffering and adversity are seen as necessary steps toward enlightenment and rebirth. According to some interpretations of his prophecies, the strange fogs, mysterious weather events, and environmental disruptions that are becoming more prevalent today could be signs of the tumultuous period Nostradamus foresaw. These physical manifestations of global change may be the outward indicators of deeper spiritual shifts occurring on a planetary scale. In particular, Nostradamus' writings have been linked to the idea of a new dawn for humanity, a time when human beings will finally shed their old ways of thinking and begin to embrace higher spiritual truths. Some interpretations of his quatrains suggest that this period of spiritual transformation will coincide with advancements in technology, medicine, and even space exploration. This dual transformation, both spiritual and technological, could be seen as a necessary convergence, where humanity's evolving consciousness and growing technological prowess work in tandem to create a more harmonious and enlightened world. The role of global crises in spiritual transformation. The question then arises, why must humanity endure crises and disasters before experiencing spiritual transformation? Nostradamus' predictions, much like those of other prophetic figures, suggest that spiritual awakening often arises from chaos and calamity. The rationale behind this belief is that periods of hardship force individuals and societies to reevaluate their priorities and values. It is during times of crisis that people often come to terms with the fragility of life and are more willing to seek out deeper, more meaningful paths. In this context, the current global crises, whether they be environmental, political, or social, could be seen as catalysts for the spiritual awakening that Nostradamus predicted. The strange fog phenomenon, the rising tensions between world powers, and the increasing frequency of natural disasters may be indicative of a world teetering on the brink of significant change. As humanity faces these challenges, there may be a growing realization that the old paradigms of materialism, consumerism, and division are no longer sufficient to address the complexities of our modern world. Moreover, the rapid advancements in technology and the rise of global connectivity have created an unprecedented level of awareness and interconnectedness. Information travels faster than ever, and people from different corners of the world are becoming increasingly aware of the issues that affect them all. This collective awareness could serve as the foundation for a more unified, spiritually awakened global society. Nostradamus' predictions may not just be a warning of what is to come, but also an invitation to embrace a new way of thinking, one that transcends national borders, religious divisions, and material concerns. Messages of hope and renewal. Despite the ominous tone that pervades many of Nostradamus' quatrains, there are also messages of hope and renewal. While he speaks of wars, natural disasters, and the fall of empires, he also alludes to a time when humanity will emerge from these dark periods stronger, wiser, and more spiritually attuned. This message of hope is echoed in the writings of many spiritual teachers and prophets throughout history, who have suggested that humanity's greatest trials are often followed by periods of profound growth and enlightenment. For example, some of Nostradamus' followers interpret his references to a great king, or savior, as symbols of a spiritual leader who will emerge during times of great turmoil. This figure, they believe, will guide humanity through its darkest hours and lead the world into a new age of peace and spiritual harmony. While the identity of this figure remains unclear, many interpret it as a metaphor for a collective spiritual awakening that transcends individual leadership. In this sense, the Great King could represent a shift in human consciousness that will lead to the dissolution of old power structures and the establishment of a more compassionate and enlightened society. The fog that blankets our world today could, in a spiritual sense, symbolize the clouds of ignorance and division that have obscured humanity's true nature. As we move through this period of uncertainty and chaos, there may be a deeper understanding emerging, one that allows us to see the interconnectedness of all life and recognize our shared responsibility for the planet and each other. Nostradamus' prophecies, though often cryptic and difficult to interpret, seem to offer hope for a brighter future, one that is not defined by conflict and destruction but by spiritual awakening and unity. Interpreting Nostradamus in the modern context. In interpreting Nostradamus' predictions in the context of the strange fog phenomenon and other contemporary events, it is important to recognize that his writings are not to be taken as literal forecasts of specific events. Rather, they offer symbolic insights into the broader patterns of history and human experience. The fog, for instance, could be seen as a metaphor for the confusion, uncertainty, and disorientation that many people feel in the face of global crises. The message, however, is clear. These dark times may be necessary in order for humanity to break free from outdated ways of thinking and enter into a new era of spiritual growth and enlightenment. As we continue to navigate the challenges of the modern world, the teachings of Nostradamus and other spiritual traditions invite us to look beyond the surface of events and seek deeper meanings and insights. The fog may obscure our vision, but it also serves as a reminder that there is much more to reality than what we see with our physical eyes. By embracing the possibility of spiritual transformation, we can begin to shift our consciousness and move toward a future that is not only technologically advanced but also spiritually fulfilled. Throughout history, humanity has been captivated by unexplained phenomena that defy scientific explanation. From strange weather patterns to mysterious lights in the sky, these events often evoke a sense of awe, fear, and curiosity. In recent years, we have witnessed a surge in reports of unusual occurrences, some of which seem to defy the laws of nature. While many of these events are rooted in the realms of science fiction or speculative theories, others have been closely associated with ancient texts, particularly the Bible, which has long been a source of prophecy, wisdom, and guidance. In this context, some people have begun to see connections between the supernatural phenomena of today and biblical predictions, creating a compelling narrative that links the strange events of the present with ancient prophecies about the future. The Bible has always been a central reference point for those seeking answers to the mysteries of life, and many of its passages have been interpreted as foretelling events that are yet to come. Among these predictions are warnings about natural disasters, wars, and apocalyptic signs that will precede the end of times. These biblical prophecies have often been understood in both literal and metaphorical terms, with some viewing them as direct predictions of future events, while others interpret them as symbolic representations of larger themes related to human experience, morality, and divine intervention. As the world faces increasing uncertainty marked by environmental disasters, political instability, and social unrest, many are turning to the Bible for guidance. One of the most striking aspects of these biblical prophecies is their frequent reference to supernatural phenomena, such as signs in the heavens, strange occurrences on earth, and the manifestation of powerful forces that seem to transcend the natural order. These events, described in the books of Daniel, Revelation, and other biblical texts, are often depicted as harbingers of a new era, signaling the return of a divine presence or the culmination of human history. The strange fog phenomenon, for example, has raised questions about its origins and meaning. While many scientists attribute these fogs to natural causes, such as climate change, atmospheric pressure, or pollution, others believe that these events may be signs of a deeper, more spiritual transformation occurring on Earth. The idea that supernatural forces are at play is not a new one, and it has been a recurring theme throughout religious and spiritual traditions, including Christianity. Some individuals view the unusual weather patterns, mysterious fogs, and other bizarre occurrences as part of the fulfillment of biblical prophecies related to the end times. Biblical prophecies and supernatural events. The Bible contains numerous references to supernatural events that are believed to signal divine intervention or the manifestation of spiritual forces. In the book of Revelation, for instance, the Apostle John describes a series of apocalyptic events that will occur at the end of the world. These events include earthquakes, fires, and plagues, as well as the appearance of strange creatures and visions that defy natural laws. Many scholars believe that these vivid descriptions are symbolic of spiritual truths, but others interpret them as literal predictions of future events. One of the most well-known biblical prophecies regarding supernatural phenomena is found in Matthew 24, where Jesus speaks of signs that will precede the end of the age. He describes a time when nation will rise against nation, and there will be famines and earthquakes in various places. He also speaks of wonders in the heavens, and the sun will be darkened, and the moon will not give its light. These passages are often cited by those who believe that contemporary supernatural phenomena, such as strange weather patterns, mysterious fogs, and other unexplained occurrences, are fulfillments of these ancient prophecies. Additionally, the book of Joel 2:28-32 speaks of the pouring out of God's Spirit on all people in the last days, which will result in wonders in the heavens and on the earth, blood and fire and billows of smoke. This vivid imagery evokes visions of natural and supernatural events that are difficult to explain through scientific means. Some who observe these strange phenomena today see them as a sign that the world is entering a period of spiritual awakening or transformation, as foretold in these ancient scriptures. Another key biblical passage that connects supernatural events with the end of times is found in the book of Daniel, where the prophet Daniel has a vision of a great spiritual battle and the rise of powerful kingdoms. Daniel's visions contain imagery of beasts and angels, as well as descriptions of natural disasters and other cataclysmic events. These apocalyptic visions have long been associated with the idea that supernatural forces are at work in shaping human history and that these forces will play a role in the final judgment, connecting supernatural phenomena to biblical themes. In light of these biblical prophecies, many people are starting to draw connections between the supernatural phenomena observed today and the signs mentioned in Scripture. Whether it's the increase in natural disasters, strange weather patterns, or unexplained occurrences like the fog phenomenon, there is a growing belief that these events are part of a larger, divinely orchestrated plan. Some see them as precursors to the spiritual transformation that is predicted to occur in the final days, a time when the veil between the natural and supernatural worlds may be lifted, revealing a deeper truth about our existence. The Bible speaks of the concept of spiritual warfare, where forces of good and evil clash in a battle for the souls of humanity. Many who are experiencing or witnessing supernatural phenomena today believe that we are in the midst of this battle, with unseen forces influencing the events that unfold in our world. The strange fog, along with other mysterious events, could be interpreted as manifestations of these spiritual forces, signaling that the time of spiritual awakening or judgment is approaching. At the same time, the idea of divine intervention in the form of supernatural phenomena also raises questions about the role of humanity in these events. The Bible often emphasizes the importance of repentance, humility, and faith in the face of adversity. In the midst of natural disasters, political upheaval, and strange occurrences, many people are turning to their faith for answers, hoping that the divine presence will guide them through the challenges ahead. A new era of understanding? As we consider the potential connections between modern supernatural phenomena and biblical prophecies, it is important to recognize that these events may hold both literal and symbolic meanings. While some may interpret them as signs of the imminent end of the world, others may see them as opportunities for spiritual growth and awakening. The strange fog and other mysterious occurrences could be seen as symbols of the hidden forces at work in the world, urging humanity to look beyond the surface and seek a deeper understanding of the divine purpose. In the end, the connection between supernatural phenomena and biblical teachings serves as a reminder that we are not alone in this world. Whether these events are seen as literal manifestations of divine intervention or as symbolic representations of spiritual truths, they call us to reflect on our place in the universe and our relationship with the forces that govern it. As we navigate the challenges of the present and look to the future, it is essential to remain open to the possibility that the strange occurrences around us may hold deeper meanings, ones that can lead us to a greater understanding of the spiritual dimensions of life. As we continue to witness the unfolding of global events, many of us are searching for patterns that can provide insight into what the future may hold, whether through the lens of history, current geopolitical trends, or spiritual prophecies. The question of what lies ahead is often shaped by our understanding of key regions and nations. One country that has consistently been at the center of both historical and prophetic narratives is Israel. From its ancient roots in biblical texts to its modern-day role in the international stage, Israel has been regarded as a focal point of divine significance, geopolitical tension, and spiritual transformation. In recent decades, Israel has played a pivotal role in Middle Eastern conflicts, international diplomacy, and religious discourse. Yet, the question arises, what is Israel's role in the events leading up to the future, particularly as we approach potential global shifts that could reshape the world as we know it? Many interpretations suggest that Israel will continue to be a central figure in the unfolding drama of history, particularly in relation to prophecies concerning the end times and the spiritual transformation of humanity. Israel's role in biblical prophecies. In the Bible, Israel is often portrayed as the chosen nation, a place where pivotal events in the history of mankind unfold. According to the Hebrew Scriptures, Israel is a land with a deep spiritual significance, marked by the covenant between God and the descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. This relationship has placed Israel at the heart of many prophecies about the future, especially in the context of eschatological events. One of the most widely discussed aspects of Israel's role in future events is its involvement in the end times, or the last days. In Christian theology, many believe that Israel will play a central role in the fulfillment of God's divine plan, leading to the eventual return of the Messiah and the establishment of God's kingdom on earth. This belief is grounded in prophecies found in the Old Testament, as well as the teachings of Jesus and the writings of the apostles in the New Testament. In these texts, Israel is depicted as a key player in the final conflict between good and evil, where the forces of light and darkness will battle for dominance over the world. One such prophecy is found in the book of Ezekiel, which describes the gathering of the Jewish people from the four corners of the earth and their return to the land of Israel. This event, often referred to as the regathering of Israel, is seen by many as a sign that the time of God's judgment is drawing near. Ezekiel's prophecy of a great battle, sometimes interpreted as the Battle of Armageddon, is believed to take place in Israel, where the forces of evil will be defeated, and the reign of God's peace will begin. The significance of Israel in the context of the end times is also evident in the book of Revelation. The Apostle John speaks of a time when the people of Israel will be restored, and God's divine intervention will bring about the ultimate triumph of righteousness. In Revelation 7, 12, and 14, the 144,000 Israelites, 12,000 from each of the 12 tribes, are depicted as being sealed by God and protected during the tribulation period. These passages have been interpreted as symbolic of Israel's ultimate redemption and the pivotal role it will play in the culmination of human history. Geopolitical and spiritual tensions. Beyond the biblical narrative, Israel's role in future events is also heavily shaped by its geopolitical position. As the Middle East remains a hotspot for conflict and tension, Israel finds itself at the crossroads of various religious, political, and economic forces. The nation's security concerns, territorial disputes, and relationships with neighboring Arab countries have long been a source of international attention. The ongoing Israeli-Palestinian conflict, the dynamics of the Israeli-Arab relationships, and the complex alliances formed in the region continue to shape the future trajectory of the Middle East. Israel's role as a democracy in a predominantly Arab region, its technological and military advancements, and its strategic alliances, especially with Western powers such as the United States, add layers of complexity to the situation. As global powers position themselves for future challenges, Israel's place within these alliances will undoubtedly influence the course of events in the coming decades. However, Israel's significance is not just tied to political considerations. As one of the most historically and religiously significant countries in the world, Israel's presence continues to resonate with millions of people around the globe. The nation is seen by many as a focal point for spiritual awakening, divine intervention, and the fulfillment of prophecies. For those who believe in the biblical predictions regarding the end times, the political landscape of Israel often serves as a barometer for the spiritual state of the world. Some view Israel's ongoing struggles, both in terms of territorial disputes and the broader geopolitical tensions in the Middle East, as signs that the nation is at the center of a divine plan. Whether in the form of natural disasters, political upheavals, or religious movements, many see these events as indicators that the time of spiritual transformation is near. Others point to the continued growth of the Jewish state, despite the challenges it faces, as evidence of God's enduring promise to his people. Prophecies of global transformation and Israel's role. In addition to its direct involvement in geopolitical events, Israel's role in the future is often linked to the concept of global transformation, both on a spiritual and a material level. For many, the return of Israel to the world stage as a sovereign nation after centuries of exile is seen as a fulfillment of biblical prophecy. But beyond the political realm, Israel is often seen as a symbol of divine intervention and renewal, representing hope for the restoration of justice, peace, and righteousness. As we look to the future, many believe that Israel will continue to play a critical role in the unfolding of major events, particularly in relation to the spiritual awakening that is predicted to occur at the end of time. Some view Israel as a place where the world will gather for spiritual reconciliation, where the divine will be manifest in miraculous ways, and where the Messiah will return to guide humanity into an era of peace and prosperity. In this sense, Israel's role is not limited to its geopolitical significance. It is also seen as a spiritual beacon, a place where the world's major religions intersect and where the divine plan for humanity will reach its climax, whether through a miraculous transformation of the nation itself or through the unfolding of significant events on the global stage. Israel's role in the future is inextricably linked to the concept of spiritual renewal and the realization of humanity's collective destiny. The future of Israel and the world. As we move further into the 21st century, the future of Israel and its role in global events will undoubtedly continue to evolve. From the ongoing political challenges to the spiritual questions raised by its central place in biblical prophecies, Israel remains a key player in the future of humanity. Whether we view these events through the lens of politics, prophecy, or spirituality, one thing is clear: Israel's role in shaping the future is far from over. In the coming decades, Israel's significance on the world stage is expected to grow, particularly as new geopolitical, technological, and spiritual shifts unfold. Whether through peaceful resolution or further conflict, Israel will continue to be a focal point of global attention, both as a nation and as a symbol of the deeper spiritual transformations that are believed to be unfolding in the world. As the story of Israel continues to unfold, it will no doubt remain intertwined with the broader narrative of human history and the divine plan for the world. As we reflect on the profound events and patterns that shape our understanding of the future, it becomes clear that we are living in times of great transformation, whether through the lens of spiritual prophecies, geopolitical shifts, technological advancements, or supernatural phenomena. It is evident that the world is on the brink of a significant change. The convergence of these factors leads us to a place where faith, resilience, and hope will play crucial roles in navigating the uncertain times ahead. Throughout history, humanity has faced challenges that have tested the limits of its endurance and faith. Wars, natural disasters, and moments of societal upheaval have often led to periods of reflection, questioning, and a search for deeper meaning. It is in times of crisis that many people have turned to faith as a source of strength, believing that there is a higher purpose guiding them through the storm. As we look to the future, it is essential to hold on to that sense of faith and belief in the possibility of a better world. While the future may seem uncertain, filled with complex issues and challenges, it is important to remember that change often comes from unexpected sources. It is during times of adversity that humanity has demonstrated its greatest capacity for growth and renewal. The challenges we face today are not the end of the story, but rather the beginning of a new chapter, one where faith, hope, and perseverance will determine the outcome. The prophetic messages we have explored throughout this discussion, whether from ancient texts, spiritual leaders, or modern-day visionaries, serve as reminders of the divine plan that continues to unfold. These messages encourage us to stay grounded in our beliefs and trust that the events taking place, no matter how difficult or perplexing, are part of a greater purpose. Whether we are talking about the role of Israel, the unfolding of natural phenomena, or the arrival of a new spiritual age, the common thread is the call to remain steadfast and hopeful. One of the key themes that have emerged from these prophetic perspectives is the idea that humanity's transformation is not just a passive process but an active one. It requires our participation, our conscious effort to align ourselves with higher ideals and values. Whether we are called to love one another more deeply, to care for the planet, or to work toward peace and justice, these are not just abstract concepts, they are the foundation of a new world that is slowly coming into being. Faith, in this sense, is not simply about waiting for a miracle to happen or for external events to unfold. It is about recognizing the power within ourselves to contribute to the changes we wish to see in the world. Faith empowers us to take action, to believe in the possibility of transformation, and to persist even when the road ahead is unclear. It is this kind of faith that will carry us through the difficulties and uncertainties of the future. At the same time, it is crucial to recognize that we are not alone in this journey. Across the globe, countless individuals are working tirelessly to make the world a better place. Whether through social justice initiatives, environmental efforts, or spiritual endeavors, the interconnectedness of humanity is a powerful force. And as we continue to come together in pursuit of common goals, we can create a collective momentum that drives us toward a brighter future. In the face of adversity, it is easy to feel overwhelmed and discouraged. Yet, it is precisely in these moments that our faith and resilience are most important. The challenges we face today, whether political, environmental, or spiritual, are an invitation to grow, to learn, and to evolve. They are not signs of defeat, but rather opportunities for renewal and transformation. As we move forward into the unknown future, we must remember that our individual and collective actions are powerful. Each of us has a role to play in the shaping of tomorrow. By staying true to our values, by showing compassion to others, and by holding on to our faith in the face of adversity, we contribute to the larger movement of change. The road may be long, and the path may be difficult, but with faith as our guide, we can overcome even the greatest of challenges. One of the most powerful aspects of faith is its ability to inspire hope in the midst of darkness. When the world seems bleak, it is hope that keeps us going, that helps us to envision a future where things are better. Hope is not a passive feeling. It is an active force that drives us to take steps toward the future we want to create. As we continue on this journey, we must keep that hope alive, nurturing it within ourselves and sharing it with others. It is also important to remember that faith is not about having all the answers or knowing exactly what the future holds. Instead, it is about trusting that there is a purpose to the events unfolding around us and believing that, in time, the bigger picture will become clear. The challenges we face today may seem overwhelming, but they are part of a larger story that we may not yet fully understand. By staying faithful and open to the possibilities of the future, we allow ourselves to be part of the unfolding of something greater. In closing, I encourage each of you to hold on to your faith, to remain hopeful, and to continue moving forward with determination and courage. The future is uncertain, but with the right mindset and the strength that comes from faith, we can navigate the changes ahead. No matter what may come, remember that you are not alone in this journey. We are all in this together, and together, we can create a future that is filled with hope, peace, and transformation. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of the future and the profound forces shaping our world. As we continue to walk this path, let us hold on to our faith, our hope, and our belief in the possibility of a brighter tomorrow. May the journey ahead be one of growth, enlightenment, and spiritual renewal for us all.